Hey guys, we're back for another daily devotional. We're going to be looking today at Proverbs 19. If you want to kind of do a little sword drill and get over to Proverbs 19 in your Bible. And today, this proverb is going to be kind of like one of those songs where like it says the name of the song in the first line, right? In this case, this proverb is going to give us its main point in this first verse. So let's look at it. It's Proverbs 19, and starting in verse 1, it says, "Better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech and is a fool." So integrity, let's define that, because that might be one of those words where like you kind of know what it means, but you can't really like define it if someone asks you to. So integrity would be doing the right thing no matter who is there. Doing the right thing no matter who is there. So you're always kind of doing the right thing, even if it's just this one group of friends and they're okay with you playing certain video games or saying certain things. You're always going to be doing the right thing no matter who is there. And the second part says, "Then one who is crooked in speech and is a fool." Being crooked in speech, right? Think of it as you're not telling the straight truth. You're kind of twisting things a bit. You're kind of turning things so you don't get punished, so maybe it makes another person look bad, or maybe so it looks, you kind of inflate how great you did at something. So this is saying, better is a poor person who walks in integrity than someone who's a liar, who kind of twists the truth. And the proverb is going to go into detail and kind of some really bad things that poor people back then had to deal with. And his whole point is going to be, even though there's all these bad things associated with being poor, it's still better to have all these bad things but have integrity than be crooked in speech, than to be a liar. So look down to verse 4 is going to be the first instance where we kind of see some of these things happening with poor people back then. It says in verse 4, "Wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend." Right? And this is like, if you guys have seen those shows, those movies where the rich, the popular person, all these people who've never cared about him before are all of a sudden like really interested in kind of playing nice with him and just to get his favor kind of thing, right? So this is what that's saying. Being rich, you have a lot of new friends, even if they only care about you for your money. It says the poor person's deserted by his friend, right? So back then, like if you were poor, you didn't really have like anything to contribute, and you were kind of left to your own. You kind of were a little more isolated. He says it's better to be isolated, to be alone, to not have as many friends, and to have integrity, than to be someone who is a liar but has a lot of friends, but has wealth, has all of these good things. And now look down to verse 5. Verse 5 says, "A false witness will not go unpunished." A false witness is a liar, right? Someone who gives a false report about something, right? You're asked who did something, you're asked did you do something, and you answer falsely. You lie. It's a false witness. So verse 5 says, "A false witness, or a liar, will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape." Just think about that like as a mental picture, like breathing out lies, like just lie, 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 right? Like people who are lying just all the time. And that's because once you start to lie, you start to lie more and more, right? Because you get comfortable with it, you get good at it, you start to see it can maybe get you out of trouble sometimes. And he says, you will not escape punishment. It's very, very careful to note they will not go unpunished, they will not escape. And then look down at verse 9. Verse 9 says, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will perish." And he kind of says like almost the exact same thing. It's like he copy-pasted, but back then they didn't have computers, so it would be like looking to what you wrote just above and like having to write out all the same stuff, right? But it's so important. He writes the same thing twice. He makes sure that we remember, that we keep in mind, liars are punished. And there's natural consequences to lying, right? You break trust with a friend and they don't really want to be your friend anymore because you've lied to them, because you've kind of twisted some truth with them. Your parents maybe don't trust you as much, and there's consequences from your parents, like being grounded or losing privileges. Maybe lying to a teacher might get you a bad grade on an assignment or discipline in class, right? So there's these natural consequences, but here he's talking about they will not escape God's punishment, because ultimately to have integrity is to be mindful that we serve a God of truth. And lying is the exact opposite of that. Lying is twisting things to your own benefit. But God is a God of truth who knows everything, who sees everything. And it says here, it's very particular to mention, God will punish lies. So we need to be people of integrity because God will punish lies. And then if you were to go down to verse 22, it says, what is desired in a man is steadfast love, and a poor man is better than a liar. And once again, he's saying how, look, being poor is better than being a liar. Being poor is difficult, right? Like even just going back up to earlier where it starts to talk about all these difficulties of being poor. In verse 7, it says a poor man's brother hates him, right? It can be really difficult because maybe even family's not as willing to help you back then. And so he's saying all of those things are really, really difficult, but it's better to have all those difficult things and be someone of integrity than to be a liar. And then verse 23 says, the fear of the Lord leads to life, and whoever has it rests satisfied. And this comes back to integrity, because the fear of the Lord leading to life is reminding us that the way to live with integrity is to be mindful that God is everywhere. God sees everything, right? And we have to be mindful of that. The proverb here is bringing us back up to that main point of living with integrity. And the way to do that is to fear the Lord, right? When you're looking back at verse 5 and verse 9, it says a false witness will not go unpunished. Don't twist the truth. Don't lie. Don't withhold some truth. Tell the whole truth. Be straight about it, because God is a God of truth. And he says that liars will not go unpunished. So that's our main theme for today. I want you to, as you're going through the rest of this week, be careful about seeing, am I lying to my parents about how much time I'm playing with friends or playing video games? Am I lying about completing homework, right? There's all these things that we can mess up on and we can lie about, and it can be easy. Maybe homeschooling right now, your parent leaves her a bit and there's an answer key to a test. We need to be people of integrity, because it says here that God punishes liars, and it's better to be someone with integrity than to be someone who is lying. So this week, focus on telling the truth, because we serve a God of truth. Take care, guys, and we will see you next time.